Hi, I'm Jim Sterling, and I'm a Major League fuck freak. Let's talk about video games. Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition launched just a few days ago, and I haven't even had time to join the rest of the internet in scratching my fucking head that a remaster of a game that old and, let's face it, in desperate need of the sales love it didn't get the first time around, has an MSRP of $60. I mean, what the fuck, Gearbox? Do you think your past handling of licensed properties has given you the sort of credibility and trust to warrant that price tag? Because $59.99 for Bulletstorm in 2017 current year argument just strikes me as the nonsense behaviour of a peculiar person. And no, Duke Nukem's appearance in the game doesn't justify the cost. If anything, he drives the value down because he's fucking dreadful. Anyway, the shocker is that we're not actually talking about that because Gearbox pulled a far more significant boner just before the re-released. Gearbox Software decided the best PR move it could do for a game that, let's face it, failed to turn a profit the last time round and really needed the best marketing it could get, was to partner with G2A. G2 fucking A. And if you don't know what G2A is, well, ain't you a lucky little wanker? Like a horned-up hog at an all-you-can-fuck buffet, G2A has humped the PC games market for all it's worth. A key reseller with a lot of market share and few scruples, G2A is somewhat legendary in the PC market for its history of sleazy and shady behaviour. I first became aware of the company when it caused daily spam bots to flood the comment section of my website, eventually causing me to disable external links to get rid of them. That's why you can't post links on the site, because of G2A. G2A lets people sell their extra Steam keys, and while there are many sites that do this, G2A is the one that gained massive popularity thanks to its advertising deals with popular YouTube personalities who endorsed the site and included links in their videos. Such personalities over the years have been PewDiePie, Matroix, Kasayo Higladepthood, and Jaska Frags, all of whom G2A is proud to boast about. While those who still work with G2A remain historically quiet about it, those who've had past experience with the company aren't too shy about slagging it off, such as in this Kotaku article where the company was called, quite simply, shady. The main issue with G2A is that its standards are somehow even more lax than Steam's. There's been no verification of the keys themselves, whether they've been obtained with stolen credit cards or other illicit means. And there have been reports of people being able to make an easy few $100 doing that exact thing, selling keys on G2A obtained illegally. G2A historically has no protections or verifications to try and stop this thing from happening, as seen in 2016 when TinyBuild got into a fight with the company after alleging it was running a fraud-filled economy. TinyBuild started the ball rolling against G2A, and it was then kicked right in the company's fucking face by Level Cap Gaming, whose video calling G2A a den of thieves brought a lot of serious allegations to light. YouTubers like Jack Frags and Lyric soon terminated their association with the company, and while some continue to work with it, its reputation is often the preceding factor. To those with at least an engaged interest in the PC games market, G2A is commonly known as a place that not just allows but benefits from fraud, all with convenient deniability, because G2A is of course not the company committing any of the fraud itself. It's just, you know, got an economy that it knows for a fact defrauders can easily exploit, and it's either too scummy or incompetent to do anything about it. It's got to be one or the other at this point. I mean, when you've got Digital Homicide partnered up with you, you gotta be doing something fucked up. Bottom line is this: G2A literally makes money from stolen material as part of its very business model. Nevertheless, G2A continues to be a powerhouse in the industry, the so-called eBay of game keys, because customers like deals, and G2A never sells a game at full price. Fuck, if Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition was on there for the price it ought to be sold at, I know plenty of folks who'd snap it up, but association with the brand as a personality or corporation is rather toxic. G2A is hated by many developers, critics and customers, and Gearbox partnering with it for Bulletstorm was not just surprising, but rather dismaying to a number of us. Almost immediately the studio faced massive backlash, though it, at first, kept its head down about it. Enter frame rate enthusiast Total Biscuit, who immediately boycotted Gearbox and pledged to never cover their games again. That, funnily enough, made the developer take notice, and they asked Biscuit to do their job for them and provide proof of G2A's sleazy shenanigans. Which he did easily enough, because he's been gathering evidence like a squirrel for years, and he had loads of articles, videos, and images to show them. Faced with a mountain of evidence that they'd backed not just the wrong horse, but a horse-shaped bag full of blue bottle flies, Bulletstorm's publisher offered a quaint ultimatum to G2A. Change your business practices entirely, or we'll dump you. G2A, which of course claims it hates that damn bally dash and blasted damn fraud, did not publicly respond to any of this. At all. As far as I can tell, the cowards still haven't said a damn word since this whole Bulletstorm shitstorm started, effectively demonstrating its unwillingness to do anything about the theft profiteering it enables and thrives on. As a result, Gearbox has now officially begun its extraction process of its involvement with G2A, something FOV connoisseur Total Biscuit considers a win, since Gearbox was G2A's first major publishing partnership, and it's exploded in a very public and very ugly way. Fucking good. Couldn't happen to a nicer set of willfully ignorant fucksticks whose continued silence on all matters pertaining to its shitty behaviour only makes me further despise the cunt. Now we could leave it at that. Scumbag story with a happy ending, but I'm concerned about something a bit deeper than G2A losing a deal. Fact of the matter is, this deal should never have been a thing in the first place. Young, impressionable YouTubers? Sure, I can get why they'd be suckered into a G2A deal, at least initially, but nowadays a company like Gearbox Software should be clued into its own community enough to know that partnering with G2A is a terrible idea. It's like if Macy's decided to run a clothing line by Nigel Farage. Sure, Farage has his fans, but you're still selling polyester Union Jack socks sold by the human equivalent of that feeling you get when you remember you swallow spiders in your sleep. It's just shit that should be immediate to anybody with a working knowledge of the industry they're doing marketing in. Gearbox somehow missed an entire controversy from last year and didn't seem to do basic research of the company it got into bed with. It's not just pundits and game communities that hate G2A. Plenty of developers, plenty of potential future publishing partners for Gearbox loathe it as well, and Gearbox, being as deeply invested in the PC gaming space as it is, should have known this without even opening Google. It should have already at least have heard about how bad G2A is, yet it seemed highly unprepared for the backlash most of us saw coming the moment we heard the partnership announced. And asking Total Biscuit, an independent critic, to do their research for them after the fact, I mean, look, fair play to Gearbox for at least being concerned and doing the right thing in the end, but that's fucking embarrassing! No, it is though. It's dismal is what it is. Regardless of whatever your reputation may be after that whole aliens thing, you're still Gearbox fucking Software, son, the studio that cut its teeth with Half-Life and has been a big part of the PC gaming market since. Between Borderlands and with Borderlands, you've created a game that's a huge part of the Steam experience for thousands of people, and yet you didn't know any of this shit about G2A? Not through the grapevine, not through cultural osmosis. Did anybody at the company know? Let's be real, a lot of people at the company probably did know. I wouldn't be surprised if a few even raised concerns. But the people who know shit, and the people who make shit happen, are often two completely distinct groups with little crossover, and that is the problem. If this G2A bullet shitstorm has confirmed one thing for me, it's that this industry is run by folks who don't have a fucking clue what's going on in the industry they're running. This demonstrates how out of touch corporations can be with not just their audiences, but the market as a whole. Because it wasn't just quote-unquote gamers who had a problem with G2A. Every element of the video game industry has a vocal contingent of critics more than happy to yell their distaste for this particular organisation. Your average customer just looking for a cheaper game, I understand why there are still tons of them flocking to G2A. I don't expect them to be clued in. I expect better of Gearbox. I don't expect it to make the same partnering decisions as James effing Romine. Not that the people in charge of Gearbox likely know who that is. They didn't even know what G2A was apparently, and as far as scumbags in the PC market go, they're practically entry-level knowledge by now. I'm singling out Gearbox because, well, Gearbox is the one that fucked up, but it pertains to the industry as a whole. We've talked many many times over the years about how out of touch the executives and marketers in charge are, and this is an exquisite showcase of that argument. This industry that routinely focus tests groups of teenage boys and wonders why its audience isn't expanding. This industry that thought copying Call of Duty would mean making the exact same money as Call of Duty without realizing Call of Duty fans already had Call of Duty and they were just saturating the market to death. This industry that waged an unpopular war on secondhand games and conceived the online pass at everybody's expense. This industry that cancelled fucking Scalebound! You get my point. I can dig up any number of the dead horses we've beaten on this show, and so much of it can be traced back to the very issue we've witnessed these past few days. Puppeteers who don't know what puppets are, Wild West sheriffs that have never even seen a gun, paleontologists who think dinosaurs and cars are the same fucking thing. I don't know, I ran out of metaphors for clueless, disconnected idiots, but you get the fucking point. So we were going to end today's episode with just a proper bollocking aimed at G2A, but then something happened in the final edit. Because you see, I didn't realise that the Duke Nukem portion of Bulletstorm was pre-order DLC. That is now day one, launch day DLC, that you buy for $5 on top of the $59.99 that you pay for the years-old remaster of a game that, let's face it, didn't turn a profit, was a commercial flop. I like the game. I think it's a good game, at least on par with the also quite good Breath of the Wild. But Jesus fucking Christ, Gearbox, who the hell do you think you are? Gearbox, honestly, do dubstep songs really cost that much to use in your hilariously off-the-wall trailers? And when I say hilariously off-the-wall, I mean they're fucking funny, not that they're good or funny on purpose. This is still fucking funny! Okay. I'm not joking here, okay? Bulletstorm needs all the help it can get, and I wish it well. I think it deserved more success back in the day. But it ain't gonna get it when you're charging $60 for it, and then your big selling point of Duke Nukem is an add-on, a launch day add-on. That is incomprehensibly stupid. Incomprehensible. You fucking... $60 was too much to begin with. $5 DLC on top of it is just... Sorry, I've gotta answer this. Hello? Yeah, I'm doing my What? No, I don't want to see your POG collection. Christ. Thank God for me.
Hello? Oh, he hung up. Oh well, he's lost. Oh.